Okay, people, I'ma honestly blow your freaking mind when I tell you what I kinda might have sort of unearthed when it comes to the Boruto series, in particular, with what might really be going down, right? Because despite the fact that chapter 73 came out and it didn't really provide all of that much, it really unlocked a thought on my mind, especially after I was speaking to my friend that runs the Max Powers comic. He was giving me a couple of ideas, and it lit an idea in my brain that I was like, yo, dog, I gotta talk to the people and let them know what's what, because right now they might be playing us like a fiddle, because basically what's happening here is that Eida got them by the cojones, so to speak. Eida is pretty much running the show when it comes to Boruto right now, because they're at her mercy, right? Her abilities are pretty much broken as hell. Even in chapter 73, Shikamaru remarks that, yo, dog, it's ridiculous. She is legit pretty much having us at her mercy at this point, especially if she gets pissed off enough. We're gonna have serious problems, because Eida's ability, yeah, the ability to be able to see things at will, rewind shit and conversations that happened prior to, minus that of Otsutsuki, is unheard of, and honestly doesn't even sound like a jutsu, doesn't sound like something that can be created mechanically, right? Like the ability to just basically pop your consciousness anywhere all over the place. It's kind of wild. However, what if that's not actually what's happening? Let's talk about it, because Boruto chapter 73, while it wasn't the most impactful chapter, it definitely brought some type of substance that made me think a little bit like, maybe this idea I have is gonna blow your mind.
I must go, must leave this house. I must go, the time is now. I must go, it's time to get out.
Before we get started, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell to get notified. We talk about Boruto, Black Clover, One Piece, My Hero Academia. We talk about it all here on this channel, and I greatly appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and that bell to get notified. Yeah, we'll be rocking. Okay, so Boruto chapter 73. If you followed the spoilers, then you probably went into this chapter a little bit disappointed, because you knew that it wasn't going to be the most impactful. However, off rip, I gotta say, if you watched my spoiler video, that at the very least, in comparison to the spoilers, Boruto chapter 73 wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Granted, again, it didn't provide major, advancements to the story, but it still had some breadcrumbs to lead to certain theories. Also, it introduced another concept of, hey, we did get progression in certain aspects regarding Boruto's Momoshiki and Kawaki and Sasuke seeing him, which, let's clear up a misconception, because a lot of people are actually confused regarding Sasuke at the end of Boruto 73, in particular regarding his Rinnegan. A lot of people were unclear, because honestly the paneling was unclear, and that's always something that's been a complaint the Boruto fandom has had against Ikamoto, is that his paneling isn't the greatest. But in particular, it made it seem as though with that flashback that Sasuke had his Rinnegan back, because it wasn't clear that it was even a flashback. It's like Sasuke's like, yo, what is this that I'm feeling? And then it cuts to Sasuke's Rinnegan and the events when he saw Momoshiki at the end of the Momoshiki fight way back in the beginning of the manga, around like chapter 9 or 10. So pretty much it was him reminiscing when he saw Momoshiki with the Rinnegan, and not that his Rinnegan was back. So gotta clear that up, because some people were very hype about it, and yeah, that's not what happened. Although I will say, god damn it, Sasuke, I don't know if it's pride, I don't know what it is, whether you gotta seek out Orochimaru, whether the people right here at home in the Leaf Village, somebody please make this motherfucker another eye. It's bad enough he doesn't have an arm right now, and he's also missing his all-powerful eye. Come on, dog. I don't think they're gonna give it back to him, because with Masashi Kishimoto, it has always been, and it probably always will remain, that when Naruto gains something, Sasuke gains something. When Naruto loses something, Sasuke loses something. Naruto loses Jiraiya, Sasuke loses Itachi. Naruto loses Kurama, Sasuke loses his all-powerful Rinnegan eye. And I don't believe that Naruto will get Kurama back. I'm still gonna stick to what I think would be the best possible outcome, is that Kurama being reborn, as the tailed beasts have been said to be able to do. He will be found, and he will be pretty much a companion to Himawari. Just imagine Himawari running around with Kurama as her pet, at the same time her guardian, so to speak. That would be amazing. But the point being is that it's not going to be back within Naruto. It's over. So to give Sasuke the Rinnegan back, that's not what Masashi Kishimoto has done, which, granted, even though he's questionable on whether or not he's writing this thing, personally I don't think he is. I think it's a headless horseman with bullet points, and they just got some random writers that are coming in there and filling from point point A to point B of what's already written, whether it be previous drafts from Kodachi, whether it be Kishimoto on a napkin, like this happens, this happens, this happens, y'all figure it out from here. That's what I feel like is going on. But yeah, I don't see Sasuke getting a Rinnegan back, no matter how epic it would be and no matter how awesome that art of it was. I love the freaking design of that eye. It's not happening, my lord. But also something that was noted, because again, that was Sasuke sensing Momoshiki, which he wasn't able to sense since the very beginning of Momoshiki showing up, and Kawaki also being able to see Momoshiki as well. One, it shows progression that Boruto's karmification, so to speak, has kind of went to new levels, but also I feel like it's demonstrating a differentiation between what we've always felt like, okay, you know, this is pretty much like Naruto and Kurama with Boruto and Momoshiki, maybe a little bit different because there was some hope, even though at the very beginning we didn't see it, for Kurama to come around. Momoshiki is an evil alien that has been pretty much preying on Boruto's downfall from the jump. Probably not gonna have a change of heart at some given point, but it also just showcases a little bit of a difference because we only ever seen Kurama come out when he would be in Naruto's body. It wasn't that anybody could see Kurama walking around Naruto. I mean, granted, maybe when his chakra would go crazy you could see a little bit, but you wouldn't really see Kurama. This kind of breaks apart from that original mold of, no, now a couple of people, Kawaki and Sasuke, can actually see Momoshiki's presence, which makes you question, like, okay, if he can't completely take over Boruto's body, we're never gonna see, you know, Momoshiki walking around fully at this point. The only thing he can do is take over Boruto's body by becoming Boruto and keeping his mental intact. Then essentially the threat of Momoshiki hasn't really disappeared, and also this could be the catalyst of whatever it is that ultimately leads to Boruto and Kawaki's battle, which I'm still gonna hope for and still pray on that. Dog, can we please, for the love of God, please, when we get the rebrand time skip, make it something totally radical, a different, you know, just a departure in general from what Boruto has set forth. And I'm totally fine with Boruto playing the role of antagonist or villain, and it could very well be that he's misunderstood. It could very well be that with Momoshiki pretty much being in the wings, that he's able to do dastardly deeds using Boruto's body, and pretty much Boruto becomes an outlaw or something like that. I'm really hoping that even if you still call it Boruto, which would be huge, I mean a huge subversion from the shonen genre of making, you know, the kid of the once main character now kind of like the villain, but he's still the star of the show. That would be huge and different. I get some people are like, oh, no, that's different. I don't want the same shit. I want something new and fresh. And if they're already starting to expand into new and fresh ideas with, okay, you can actually see Momoshiki now, at the very least a few people can, maybe we could go down that crazy and interesting direction of, yo, dog, maybe Kawaki seeing Momoshiki could start to make him feel like Boruto's a threat to his own father. He needs to get handled. He needs to get dealt with. I wish I would have killed him for reals when I pierced him that time. Also, I gotta let out a quick pause when Kawaki is hearing all of this thing about, hey, this beautiful girl is really into you, and he's like, nah, dog, I just want to throw myself on code. I'm like, Kawaki, what are you doing, dog? Massive pause on that one, my lord. Also, let's jump into a little bit of code discussion, right? Because code is so freaking polarizing in the Boruto story. I mean, sometimes you absolutely hate him and think he's a clown. Like, it was just 2 chapters ago, I believe 2 or 3 at the most, but I want to say 2 chapters ago that we was looking at Code like he was Bozo of the century. He made Buggy the Clown look like a god in comparison when a little kid, Damon, whipped thy ass, despite the fact that Code had let out his limiters, which his limiters in this chapter confirmed that, hey, this is where he stands. He's stronger than Jigen, weaker than Ishiki. It's official. There's nothing more that needs to be said. So essentially, Code, as he is right now, can be dealt with. And it probably doesn't even need to be like this big karma jumping of Boruto and Kawaki. Naruto and Sasuke could probably take him with a little bit of strategy and whatnot, and maybe even a little help from Boruto and Kawaki. But nevertheless, if they were able to take out Ishiki, granted, they don't got Baryon any mode, they definitely can take out Code if he's just like stronger than Jigen, weaker than Ishiki. They understand now that type of power, they could probably back him down. So we understand where Code stands as it stands right now, although once we get Jubi Code, once those, I'm calling it theory time, once those freaking 10-tailed little creatures that he created are absorbed and he's pretty much walking around like Obito did, say the 6 paths type of deal, it's going to be a whole new vibe, and I don't even know if they could take him. I'm calling it that that'll be way stronger than even Ishiki Otsutsuki was, and at that point, like, how do you stop something like that? When will that happen? When do we get the freaking time skip? Sasuke, bye! But going back to Code being a polarizing presence in the Boruto story, it's crazy that 2 chapters ago, freaking hated him. I was like, get him out of here. He's a disgrace. I couldn't believe it. You know, his whole plan fell apart. Eida and them left him for dead. It was just like, oh, God, get him out of here. Then last chapter, I was like, go Code. He created these 10-tailed little beasts. It looked like his wrath was going to be deadly. I was like, okay, you know, kind of back on board with the Code. Yeah, let's go. And then this chapter, no Code. And I'm like, disappointed. Like, damn, man, Code kind of was making shit lit. It's like, if they could really just write him the way he needs to be written, and I think maybe some character development could help to make him be maintained at a likable level, I think that Code would actually be really dope. Because again, just because 2 chapters ago we were disappointed, it just shows, okay, there needs to be more growth with him. Last chapter, he was kind of looking a little beastly with all those Frieza looking 10-tail clones or whatnot. Kind of develop him, showcase him being a true to blue boss, similar to like a Tomoda Shigaraki, which was the original inspiration for the Kara group. And you know, the Boruto story is basically being inspired, or at the very least initially was, by Ukyo Kodachi's love of My Hero Academia. Let's advance Code to being a badass, and maybe the time skip is what's going to do that, kind of get him to that level of, yo, he's pretty freaking awesome. Because yeah, Code is actually a pretty dope character that sometimes is written to look foolish, like the whole Damon whipping his ass. Why did we even need to write into that perspective to begin with? I mean, there could have been so many other ways to showcase them breaking apart other than Code being at his maximum power and still getting dusted off by a little kid. In fact, if anything, before his limiters were removed, we should have seen Damon do that, and then with his limiters, he could have been like, man, you garbage, fuck all of y'all, and walk away or something like that. The fact that they actually made him release his limiters and still get dusted off, I mean, I guess it shows that Eida is even stronger than you could imagine, because not only she has her capabilities, but she has her little brother there that is her servant and also will wax thy ass. Quick shout outs to Sarada in chapter 73, again showcasing she's ready to be even a Jonin probably at this particular point. The deductions that she's able to make, the clear understanding that she gathers very quickly from hearing Shikamaru telling out the plan of, yo dog, I think we're gonna have to make this cohabitat situation where everybody's gonna have to be in there with Eida, you know, Boruto, Kawaki, Eida and whatnot, which Damon will be there as well. Sarada being able to deduce that very quickly and understand what's happening. I don't know, Sarada's just a goat. I'm still gonna stick with what I said in the last video of a Sarada manga would have probably been preferred by me. That Sarada Gaiden 10 chapter run was incredible, and look how freaking awesome she is. I'm just saying, yo, throwing free ideas out there, dog. I'd read it. I know a lot of people would read it too. Don't cap. Also want to throw in, get Konohamaru's bitch ass out of here. If he's not going to be useful, if he's not even going to be a part of, you know, facilitating this cohabitat situation, get him the fuck up out of here. Although I think that's his purpose of being there. Probably he'll be like a guard outside or whatnot, but he'll probably be a guard outside that is going to get his ass whipped. For the love of God, Boruto manga, please, if you're going to have Konohamaru do anything, no more embarrassment. Stop embarrassing these characters, as a matter of fact. Stop embarrassing Code. Stop embarrassing Konohamaru. Like, just stop, please, mate. Also, it looks like they really want to push forth shipping, and I don't know if that's that they want to gain more of a female audience, female readership. Again, think My Hero Academia, they have a massive female readership, and again, that was the early inspirations for Boruto, Naruto Next Generations. Because adding Sumide to the scene, it really looks like they're starting to pair things up. It's going to be Boruto x Sumide and Kawaki x Eida, although that's a whole other animal in and of itself. And Shikamaru having his mistrust of Kawaki every step of the way just works so well, because you really do gotta mistrust this dude. At the end of the day, right now, even the plan that they're coming up with, which is the best they could do to kind of play off Eida's wanting of Kawaki, just imagine if Kawaki feels like for whatever reason that running off with Eida and teaming up with Eida is the best strategy. That could very well lead to the destruction of the leaf. We don't know what happens to the leaf in that future time skip situation where the whole city is destroyed or whatnot. For all we know, it could be that Kawaki decides the best course of action to save the 7th, or maybe he just gets disgusted with the 7th, that something happens there. Maybe Naruto finally says, you're not my fucking son, get the fuck away from me. Yeah, maybe he runs off with Sumide, and dog, between her, Damon, and Kawaki, oh god, I wouldn't want to fuck with that. Like, I don't care who it is. Like, imagine it ends up being that Code like starts teaming up with the Leaf despite his hatred of them just to take down Kawaki and them, and we got 10-tailed beasts fighting on our side. Like, so many freaking possibilities. Like, Like, take fucking notes of what I'm telling you guys, the writers I'm talking to in particular, like, please. And I'm not saying that I'm like the greatest writer of all time, although my pen game been a little bit nasty, got a lot of things in the works. I'm just saying, coming soon. But I am saying that there's some really creative ideas to take this series to the next level that can be utilized. And that leads me to my biggest point of an idea that can be utilized, and I think might very well be what's happening now. A few months ago, probably maybe even close to a year ago now, I kind of got laughed out the building for saying this theory that Amado is basically Kawaki from the future, right? A lot of people were like, no, that's so stupid, get it out of here. Well, let's look at what we have here very carefully. For starters, paneling alone just really be showcasing like, hey, he's kind of in same positions. Hey, it almost feels like it's foreshadowing, but maybe that's just me, right? But then let's also take into account the fact that Amado's been knowing so many different things every step of the way. That's kind of like, how the fuck does he know this? Wait, how does he know that? Wait, how? There's so many questions as to how Amado knows all of this stuff. But hey, maybe he's just a very crafty lad, right? But then let's look at something even more interesting that is the point and center focal of this whole situation right now. Eida. And her ability, right? Her ability, she could pop her consciousness in your ass. No. She can see everything going on all over the place in the world. She can hear every conversation. In fact, she can rewind to different moments in time. Now, what about if that's not jutsu? What about if that's not some sort of, alien creation of some sorts? What about if that's basically a dun 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 memory card? Now you're thinking, what the fuck are you talking about, Fornev? What do you mean a memory card? Well, if we go back to my theory of Amado basically being from the future, a la the history of Trunks, so to speak, the original timeline, maybe everything that already happened was recorded into this one memory card and slipped into this almighty robot known as Eida, that is the dead body recreated into a mechanical being of Amado's daughter that has all of the memory of everything that would happen except the people that have karma, because karma wasn't in that original timeline. This is something that Amado thought of after the fact to kind of prevent what would happen in the catastrophe of the future of the ninja world, and he put it into this daughter, but he felt like that was too hacked, too broken, and he didn't want Jigen to get his hands on that power either, so he had to hide that ability. But ultimately, Eida is reading off a memory card that recorded everything that already happened, again minus karma, because that wasn't a thing at that particular point, and maybe Kawaki didn't even exist in that point, because Kawaki is Amado. And we could take it steps further off the original ideas that Kawaki was a clone of Naruto and Sasuke. Obviously, we saw him with his father, and that was pretty much the beginnings of things, but that's not too far-fetched to say, yo, dog, they snatched this kid when he was younger, or even his father, for that matter, was a clone of a Sasuke and Naruto, or there's so many different ways to even tackle that one. But just removing that theory aside, maybe again Eida's ability isn't some manifest of crazy abilities. It's just a memory card that she's reading of everything that already happened, except the glitches that she can't see and she can't affect of Kawaki and Boruto, because she can't ride against that technology because it didn't exist in that timeline. So maybe that's what's happening. Let me know what you guys think. Again, do you think there's any validity to that? Your thoughts on chapter 73? What do you think of, or what do you make for that matter, of Sasuke and Kawaki being able to see Momoshiki, and your overall thoughts and expectations for the future of the Boruto manga with chapter 74 and beyond? Yeah, I don't know about all this pairing stuff. I'm not really that fond of it, but definitely some things brewing. And bring back Code, don't embarrass him anymore, and I think we're good to go. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day, and remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day, peace in, and yeah, memory cards. Think about it. Hey, no. Have an awesome one. Subscribe and hit that bell. I'm just saying, you know you want to do it.
I have a dream, alone in my room as I sit with the tea. Couldn't possibly think what I often see, and you don't even know how I often blink. Lights be flashing and looking at me, such an odd unique, yet I'm so unique and you're looking at me. If the walls could talk, they would probably read bleak, and I'd probably say, bitch, get the fuck off me.